Switching gears a little bit, you talked about mining and looking at Bitcoin and some of the recent things that have happened. We've seen a big migration of hash power out of China as the country cracks down on mining. And we've seen a bit of a shift into North America. I was curious as to what are your views on these adoptions versus potential regulatory crackdowns? Is moving mining to North America a good thing for the US and for Bitcoin? Both of you.
I think the exodus from China is a good thing for Bitcoin. I think there's a distribution of all the mining rigs and an upgrading in the mining rigs. There was a lot of inefficient last generation mining rigs, and they'll be decommissioned. I don't think they'll be shipped, and they'll be taken out of production. And there were a lot of inefficient mining facilities that'll be taken out of production. There's a lot of mining that was going on with dirty coal, and that will go away. So the network is cleaning and it's becoming more efficient and it's becoming more decentralized and it's becoming less Chinese. And there's a lot of China FUD, like China was doing too much mining before. And so that'll be addressed. I think this is a big opportunity for people to get in the Bitcoin mining industry everywhere in the world. And so it opened up the opportunity for people in South America, Africa, Europe, Asia, and of course, North America to get into Bitcoin mining. I think it's a big windfall for North American Bitcoin miners. And it came along at the point that North American miners were starting to grab a larger portion of the industry anyway. Because the thing that North American Bitcoin miners have going for them is they have a very vibrant capital market supporting them. So they have a low cost of capital. Bitcoin mining is capital intensive. And of course, there are large, plentiful supplies of renewable energy in North America and sustainable energy. There's wind, there's solar, there's a ton of geothermal energy. There's a lot of hydro energy in Canada. And even there's a budding nuclear power industry that wants to be able to find applications like Bitcoin to monetize it, and micro nukes that are coming along right now. So Bitcoin mining is a solution to all those things. The combination of the sustainable energy in North America, plus the NASDAQ and the New York Stock Exchange and the large pools of capital, make the North American Bitcoin mining industry probably the fastest growing, most promising, cleanest, most efficient, and most competitive part of the mining business. And a lot of those Chinese miners, they're coming to North America or partnering with North American mining companies so they can tap into those capital markets and those energy markets. So I think that that was good. I think that in terms of political support, I think that when China exited the business of Bitcoin, that actually made it a North American, a Western network. So in essence, the Chinese surrendered control of Bitcoin to the United States and to the Western nations. Generally, what you see is that the Chinese have their own ecosystem. It's based around the Chinese language, the Chinese currency, the Chinese government, the Chinese capital controls, and the Chinese technology stack. And the leaders are, of course, Alibaba and Alipay and WeChat and Weibo and Tencent and the like. And then you can see the Western stack of technologies. They center on the U.S. Law legal system, on the dollar, on English, and the United States and Western Europe and Australia and Canada and most of Africa and South America all fall into that Westernet, if you will. And Bitcoin is now becoming intrinsic to the Western stack of technologies, and it'll sit alongside Google and Facebook and Twitter and Apple and Amazon as a great Western big tech digital network. And that means it's a solution for Western technology companies like Google and Facebook. And it also means that it's beneficial to the dollar. And it also means it's beneficial to the American way of life and the legal and cultural system in the West. And so the Chinese exodus turned out, I think, to be a fairly good catalytic event to mature the entire network and to westernize it. And everybody in the Bitcoin community will benefit from that over the long term.